Tyler.
Hey, Tyler, we're going to take a quick picture, okay? Ready?
All right, sounds good.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Perfect.
How's it
How you
going,
doing,
buddy?
Frank? I'm on top of the world. I'm talking to royalty here.
Great. Good to see you.
You too, bud.
Where are you talking from?
I am talking from Radford, Virginia.
Oh, my. Okay, nice.
Quite a ways away in a little rural area, but it's home.
That's
Yeah.
great. Are you experiencing warm weather yet, or excuse
it's
me?
been back and forth. We've had warm weather. Now we're in this cold front right now where I've got a jacket. I'm still wearing shorts. I wear shorts all the time, but I still gotta wear a jacket, so I'll be grudgingly dressed for cold weather. But the warm weather should be around the corner.
Good. Cool.
Yeah. I had a question for you, but I really also want to take time to thank you so much for like particular voices that you did in your career that have meant so much to me and still resonate to this day. Obviously, your work on Transformers, I have to say that. I mean, I know you've heard it infinite amount of times, but I have to thank you for Megatron and Soundwave and Galvatron, and the list goes on and on about your contributions to Transformers. But I have to thank you for that.
Wow.
I really want to thank you for your work on Ghostbusters, because the Boogeyman here, one of my favorite villains of the entire series, is thanks to you, which was quite frightening as a kid, but thoroughly enjoyed.
Good.
And Slimer and Ray, of course.
Wow.
I still to this day find your version of Kermit more enjoyable than the Jim Henson version, which I know is blasphemous, but I grew up on Muppet Baby so much, and your Kermit was, I think, the biggest impression on me as a child. So I still love your Kermit better than anybody else's to this day.
I love hearing that, because I know there's the Disney took over the property, and now they have another version, and which I haven't seen, but I had great affection for that cast and that iteration of Kermit.
And of course, I always enjoyed doing him, and he just seemed like, really kind of sweet guy, and really enjoyed the rest of everybody and solving the problems and stuff. But he was still just basically a baby,
Oh God! One of my favorite things that you say in that voice is when Kermit's confused and just says, "Huh?" It's just such a. Can I hear you say that one time?
Well, as far as I know, I don't know what to. Huh?
There we go. Oh God, it's so simple, but God, it's effective, and it's such a well written cartoon. It's even better as an adult to watch.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into those shows, and we did an album. It was all music, because the music on the show, I don't know if you remember, but it was pretty outstanding.
Yeah.
And they came up with an idea to do an album, and we did a full-on album, and it was really, really good. I mean, I say that with all humility, but my part of it, because I'm not a very good singer, but was probably the least of it. But the cast were all really good singers. Maybe not so much the bear, but
Fonzie?
Yeah, Fonzie and myself, we struggled with, but it was really good. If you ever see it anywhere, I would recommend grabbing a hold of it. But they didn't promote it, and they didn't make a whole lot of them. So they're kind of classic and premium albums if you ever run across it. But it's the old format of an LP.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, the music was so good. But anyhow, yeah, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
Then Kermit never mentions me because I'm a girl.
Well, that's not true. I mention you all the time.
No, you don't.
I do too. I did. No.
Oh God, Skeeter was wonderful too.
Yeah.
And another cartoon that I don't know if gets brought up to you a lot was your work on Bionic 6.
Wow.
As Glove and Mechanic, until I got to see a bootleg of the series, Mechanic's voice was the only voice I remembered from the show because of how distinct it was. And I don't know what it was, but that's all I could really remember. I remember the villains and the characters, but that was the one voice I remember the most that you were responsible for. And Glove has grown to be my favorite character from the show, because those backstabbing characters that archetype is always fun to watch. Just the scout, your voice is such delivers such malice in that character, and I
Oh
can't
man,
thank
well,
you
thank you.
enough for the work on that show.
Wow, I remember the show, but I honestly don't remember the voices what I did for him. But I do remember the show. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
wow, that's unfortunate. That's not brought up to you that much then to kind of keep it with you there. But
Yeah, you do so many shows. I've been so lucky over the time to have done so much with so many different characters that at some point sometimes you forget a few of them, but they'll come right back. If I saw photographs of them, usually that boom, they're right back
I
again.
tried to have a picture of Glove on the screen over here, but the lighting wasn't working. I'm like, oh, tell
Oh,
them about it.
shoot,
And
almost.
I really want to thank you for Dino Riders. Your work as Kurlos on which I know is essentially the Dr. Claw and Soundwave voice, but that character and Rasp really resonated with me too as a kid. I love
Yeah,
that voice work so much.
I'll be darned. Wow.
And before I run out of time, my question for you was, learning how many shows you were a part of, especially in the 80s. I
Mhm.
was just really fascinated to know, like, what a typical work day or work week was like for you to be on so many shows that were on
Yeah.
the air at very similar times. Like, are you jumping from one studio to another? You're recording a bunch at once. It's just like, it's unbelievable what you packed in.
Well, in the early '80s, you could still work a studio session would be 8 hours, or a SAG day would be 8 hours, and literally a studio could keep you there 8 hours. But in the voice business, we were so busy, and most of us that did voices were pretty facile, so we could get it done and move on. But the directors, this was like their only gig for the day, so they wanted to just keep massaging it and doing this and this, and we really couldn't do it. But everybody got busy, and so as we moved into the later part of the '80s, all the studios had so much material, they knew they couldn't keep you there, so they would get, I would go into a session to record, and if there was a full cast, they started saying, "Does anybody have to leave early?" And I'd always raise my hand. Yeah, I got to go over to Filmation. I got to go over to Disney. I got to go over there. And they would try and tell everybody up front. So that was one of the kind of running gags, is like, oh, Welker's, he's going to be here for 15 minutes. He's gone. But I ended up literally, I think my record was 12 shows in one day. But those were like pickups. So I'd go in and I'd just do my lines, go to them and do my lines and do my lines. So it was a renaissance. It was wonderful, and I just worked, and it was a great time.
Well, I know you put in a lot of time, blood, and sweat, and tears into your voice and to bring these characters to life. And I can't thank you with all my heart enough for
Well,
what you brought to my childhood and still to my adulthood that I still continue to watch to this day. Oh, and Scooter on GoBots and Herbie from the Fantastic Four. Had to throw those in real quick, too.
well, you obviously have watched a lot of my stuff, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much. You stay safe, stay
Thank you.
healthy, keep watching.
Thank you, sir. Take care, bud.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.